Nagbabalik po muli ang inyong lingkod at nagbabalita ng mga balitang dapat nating malaman dito sa ating bansa. Ito ang Balitang Pambansa. Atin ngang matutunghayan sa channel na ito kung ano ang nangyayari sa loob ng ating gobyerno at syempre tumutulong na rin sa ating mga mamamayan na malaman ang katotohanan dahil mayroon tayong karapatan na malaman ang tunay na nangyayari sa ating bansa. Ngunit bago natin panoorin ang balita, huwag niyo pong kakalimutan na mag-subscribe sa ating channel at pindutin ang notification bell para lagi kang maging updated sa ating mga bagong videos na ina-upload araw-araw. At sa ating mga solid viewers naman dyan ay maraming salamat naman po sa walang sawang pagsuporta. At syempre, huwag din pong kakalimutang mag-iwan ng like at i-share ang ating mga videos. At kung mayroon ka naman pang opinion, ang ating comment section ay bukas para sa inyong mga hinaing. Ito na nga mga kaibigan, ating panoorin ang buong video. Salamat po muli and God bless!
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kanina pa po ako nakikinig sa mga legal positions ng bawat panig. But I think I would agree with the Honorable Guevara that the bone of contention of this issue is contained in Article 127, Paragraph 2. May I know, ano po yung definition nyo ng the term commence? Kasi if I read yung statement na pinagtatalunan natin ngayong araw na ito is, the withdrawal shall not affect any cooperation with the court in connection with criminal investigations and proceedings in relation to which the withdrawing state had a duty to cooperate. That's the first condition. Pero hindi po, may second and ang sinabi, which were commenced prior to the date on which the withdrawal became effective. Yun po yung crux of the issue eh. Di po ba? But may I ask, Your Honor, the Solicitor General, what is, I think this statute has also its rules of procedure. In the same manner that we have our rules of criminal and civil procedure. Tama po?
Tama po yan,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Now, the statement speaks of the term commence. So, going to Webster Dictionary, it means to begin or to start. Tama po?
Tama po.
Would you agree, Your Honor?
Tama po.
Oh. But, doon po sa previous statement, it is in connection with criminal investigations.
Tama po.
Now, when, Your Honor,
Tama po.
but doon po sa previous statement, it is in connection with criminal investigations.
Tama po.
Now, when would a criminal investigation commence?
Well, depende po yan kung ang pinag-uusapan po natin ay yung sa ating sistema
Hindi,
o doon sa sistema ng
Your Honor,
ICC.
I'm speaking of, I'm citing the statement stated in Article 127 of the Rome Statute. It speaks of criminal investigations,
Apo.
and the term commence was used.
Apo.
Now, may I know, when does a criminal investigation internationally or locally start? That's my point, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, Your Honor. If we are going to base it on Article 13, it is when one of the instances would be when the ICC prosecutor motu proprio requests for investigation. Request to commence. Maybe we should take a look at
No.
Article 13. Your Honor.
Article 13 speaks of exercise of jurisdiction. Yes, I agree, Your Honor. Kaya nga po, tinatanong ko kasi nandito po yung issue natin eh. Kanina ko pa pinakikinggan yung mga legal treatises ninyo eh, pero this issue should be resolved. What is the legal definition and so far as international law is concerned sa term na to commence? And in so far as international law is concerned, what do we mean by criminal investigations? And when does a criminal investigation start with international law? Yun po yung issue ngayon eh.
Yes, Your Honor. In the case of the Rome Statute, which created the ICC, the commencement of the investigation would be at the point where the pretrial chamber authorized the ICC prosecutor to commence his investigation. That is exactly what the two judges of the appeals chamber said. In fact, the prosecutor filed a request for the commencement of his investigation. He made that request to the pretrial chamber in March of 2021. So the pretrial chamber authorized the commencement of the investigation in September of 2021.
I heard that from you, Your Honor.
So that is my
But
answer.
I also listened to my good friend, the Honorable Colmenares. And I'm speaking as an investigator, Your Honor. A criminal investigation starts the moment a complainant files a complaint against somebody. Kaya, tama yung sabi po ninyo, Kong Colmenares, kanya-kanyang interpretasyon ito. Because they look at the rules of procedure. Dito po sa rules of procedure ng Rome Statute, wala akong makita na that will state kung kailan nagsisimula yung criminal investigation stated in Article 127. Yun po yung ko. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, if I may just clarify doon, Mr. Chair,
Oh.
just to clarify kung Kops.
Short
lang,
Okay.
Mr. Chair. Kasi I agree with the Solgen, exercise of jurisdiction.
Especially yung last part na sinabi nyo, and which were commenced prior to the date on which the withdrawal became effective.
Mhm.
Kaya nga po sinasabi ko, yun nga pong na-commence ay nangyari po noong 2021. Natapos na po ang effectivity ng ating withdrawal. Kaya nga po hindi siya applicable, Your Honor.
Ikaw mismo nagsabi na nag-commence yung preliminary examination.
No. Your Honor.
I can appeal to the records of the case. You said that the preliminary, the examination mismo ay nag-commence before the effectivity of the Philippines withdrawal. But
Apo.
the request for a preliminary investigation came after.
Yes.
Yes, correct?
Kaya po yung ating bone of contention dahil nga po ang interpretation ng government yan ay preliminary investigation ang tinutukoy. Kaya nga po humingi ng authorization pa ang prosecutor to commence his preliminary investigation.
Okay.
Yung pong preliminary examination, sa kanya lang po yun eh. Sa parte lamang po ng prosecutor yon. Siya lamang po ang dumidiskarte doon. Pardon my word. Pero hindi pa po involved ang ICC chamber doon sa time na nangangalap ng ebidensya ang prosecutor. Hindi pa po involved ang chamber ng ICC. Kanya lamang pong sariling effort yon ng prosecutor.
Well, sa palagay ko naman, yung examination ay yun ang pagsisimula ng pag-imbestiga ng prosecutors ng ICC. And they will not proceed without the go signal from the ICC. Kaya we are trying to make a distinction which should not be made. Just so to escape our obligation to cooperate. Ngayon, palagay ko naman alam ng Solicitor General ang Philippine jurisprudence on jurisdiction.
Yes, Your Honor.
And once jurisdiction is laid or attached with the filing of a complaint, whether in a civil or criminal case, that jurisdiction continues unimpeded until there is a pronouncement by the court of its final judgment and its enforcement of its decision. Hindi ba totoo yan?
Tama po yan sa ating judiciary under our legal system. Pero ito pong sa ICC, ito po ay covered ng isang treaty. Kaya po yung ating jurisprudence on jurisdiction does not necessarily apply to an international treaty like the Rome Statute.
Yung bang interpretasyon ng gobyerno doon sa Article 127 ay salungat sa ating jurisprudence na sinusunod sa Pilipinas na ang jurisdiction, pag iyan once laid, that survives and that should not be impeded even by any delay or irregularity in the process. Iyan ang mga desisyon ng ating Korte Suprema. At iyan din ang linalaman ng Article 127 because yung Article 127 did not make any distinction whether it is yung initial examination or preliminary investigation o yung trial mismo before the ICC.
Yun pong sa parte ng ICC ay meron pong there are specific articles of the Rome Statute that deal with the exercise of jurisdiction. Yun nga pong sinabi ko na Articles 12 and Articles 12 and 13. So very specific po yung exercise of jurisdiction under the Rome Statute. Kaya nga po hindi natin magamit ng exactly kung ano po yung jurisprudence are under Philippine law. Kasi sa atin po ay kumbaga sa rules of court natin po iyan and jurisprudence, pero ito po ay treaty kaya po hindi siya talaga applicable. Yun po ang sinusunod natin, ano ho, yung Articles 12 and 13. Pero kung meron po kayong ibang interpretasyon kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng investigation being commenced by the prosecutor, kung ang inyo pong opinion ay pati preliminary examination stage ay kasama noon, then that is your interpretation, Your Honor. Kaya lamang, yun pong decision ng ICC Appeals Chamber na nangyari po noong July of 2023 ay maliwanag na maliwanag pong explain noong dalawang members of the Appeals Chamber na yun pong pag-exercise ng jurisdiction ay hindi na trigger on a timely basis. At yun po ay makikita natin doon sa dissenting opinion ng mismong presiding judge ng ICC.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yun pong 3 other members of the Appeals Chamber did not make any statement at all about the issue of jurisdiction. Yung pong dalawang minority, ang siyang mayroong very strong statement na hindi na exercise ang jurisdiction at the proper time. At hindi naman po pwedeng forever, perpetually na nakahang yung ganyang klaseng threat sa Philippine government. Kaya po ganon ang kanilang naging decision.
Ito naman mga articles you have cited, good Senator Solicitor General, ay article, ano nga yun?
12 and 13 po.
12 and 13
Preconditions to the exercise
of
of jurisdiction.
jurisdiction. Ito naman ay na-modify.
Hindi pa po siya namomodify.
Na-modify yan. Mismo sa Rome Statute, doon sa Article 127 on withdrawal.
Hindi po siya minomodify kasi
Not-modify yan sa
separate po yung 127 eh.
natural. Pero a subsequent article in our interpretation, a subsequent article can be construed to modify a previous article. At dito naman sinasabi na kailan mag-cooperate ang isang estado kahit na naging effective na ang withdrawal. That is very clear sa Article 27, which is subsequent to Article 12 and 13. Now, when you were the Secretary of Justice, were you privy to the appeal which the Philippines made before the ICC?
Yung sa appeals chamber po, I think I was already the Solicitor General at the time that the appeal was made. I was already the Solicitor General at the time.
So you were not privy to the appeal?
Well, I am privy to the appeal because ako po ang representative ng Republic of the Philippines.
Iyan nga ang gusto kong ma-underscore. You were the principal on behalf of the Philippines in that appeal. And as lawyers, or even as laymen, when we appeal, we are expected to respect the appeal, whether it is for us or against us. In this case, the appeal by 3-2 was against the Philippines appeal, where the court reiterated its jurisdiction. Is that correct?
No. Dahil wala nga pong aspect yung decision ng appeals chamber na nag-deal with the issue of jurisdiction. Kaya nga po yung issue ng jurisdiction nakahang until now. At yun po ang basihan kung bakit hanggang sa ngayon ay pinapangatawanan ng Philippine government na walang jurisdiction dahil hindi na-exercise po yung jurisdiction na yan at the proper time. Wala pong aspect yung decision ng appeals chamber dealing with the issue of jurisdiction. Kasi iniskirt po yan nung tatlong, yung 5-member chamber. Yung tatlo po na majority did not make any statement at all about the challenge to jurisdiction. Ang sinabi lang po nila, this is not the proper time to address the issue of jurisdiction. Kaya po nakahang yung issue ng jurisdiction until now.
Yung principal question ng ating gobyerno hinggil sa appeal ay walang jurisdiction ang ICC over the country because it has already withdrawn from the Rome Statute. Is that correct?
Hindi lang po yun.
Isa yan.
Isa po yan.
Isa yan.
Isa po yan.
Ngayon, in essence, ano ba yung decision, majority decision ng ICC?
Ang essence po ay pwedeng ipagpatuloy ng prosecutor ang kanyang investigation.
Okay. Iyan nga. So, in that sense, natalo ang Pilipinas. At obligasyon ng Pilipinas, tayo nag-appeal, sundin natin ang desisyon ng ICC. Otherwise, bakit mag-a-appeal pa tayo kung hindi natin susundin ang desisyon? Ang desisyon ay ipagpatuloy ang investigasyon. Kaya ang desisyon ay kailangan din mag-cooperate ang Pilipinas sa investigasyon. I think we should not be a renegade in the international community, but we should subscribe to the principle of the rule of law. Pag nag-appeal ka at natalo ka, tanggapin mo ang desisyon at sundin mo.
May I say something about that?
Yes.
Tayo naman po ay sumusunod doon sa decision na yon ng appeals chamber. Ano po ba ang decision ng appeals chamber? Mr. Prosecutor, you may continue your investigation. So, ang Pilipinas naman po, hindi naman pinagbabawalan yung prosecutor na magpatuloy ng kanyang pagsisiyasat ng investigation. Dahil yun po ang decision ng appeals chamber. Hindi naman po natin siya pinagbabawalan na magsiyasat. Ang sinasabi lang po ng Philippine government, dahil may issues kami ng jurisdiction na hindi na settle dyan sa decision na yan, wag kang mag-expect ng cooperation from us. Pero hindi kita pinipigilan na mag-continue ng iyong investigation dahil yan ang naging decision ng appeals chamber. You can investigate in whatever way you want. You can talk to any person you want. You can interview any witness you want. It's up to you. Ang sinasabi lang po natin dito, but do not expect cooperation from the Philippine government. Yun lamang po. Hindi naman po natin sinusuway yung decision ng appeals chamber. Hindi po natin pinagbabawalan ang ICC prosecutor to proceed with his investigation.
Hindi ba isa sa mga issues ng Pilipinas dun sa appeal ay gusto natin pagbawalan ang investigasyon ng ICC prosecutors dito sa loob ng bansa?
Sinasabi po kasi natin ay hindi admissible yung kaso dahil nga po ang may primary responsibility to investigate ay ang sarili nating national institutions. Kaya po hindi tayo pumapayag na sila ay mag-investigate. Pero ganyan nga po ang naging decision. Kaya po, sige, di mag-investigate kayo kung gusto niyo mag-investigate.
Mag-investigate hanggang dito sa Pilipinas.
Opo, syempre.
Siyempre. Ang gusto lang niyo sabihin,
Congressman Lagman, can I just make it clear in relation to what you were asking? Kasi hindi masyadong malinaw sa akin eh. So yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon na Solicitor General na ayaw makipag-cooperate ng Philippine government sa ICC pero pinapayagan sila mag-imbestiga. Yun ba ang gusto mo sabihin?
Yes, hindi naman po natin pinagbabawalan na mag-investigate yung prosecutor dahil yun po ang
Therefore, naniniwala din kayo na may jurisdiction ang ICC na mag-imbestiga kahit na hindi mag-cooperate ang gobyerno.
Kahit po hindi makipag-cooperate ang government. Ang basihan po kasi ng lack of cooperation ay dahil nga po until now ay china-challenge pa rin natin ang jurisdiction ng ICC dahil po hindi niya na exercise yung jurisdiction na yon sa tamang panahon. Hanggang ngayon po ay yon ang ating pinapangatawanan. At wala pong aspeto yung decision ng appeals chamber tungkol doon. Kaya hanggang ngayon po yun ang ating mine-maintain.
So ibig sabihin na firm pa rin kayo sa inyong paniniwala na dahil lang sa nag-withdraw ang Philippine government noong panahon ni President Duterte ay dapat hindi mag-cooperate ang Philippine government at dapat hindi mag-imbestiga ang ICC.
Hindi po. Ang sinasabi po namin, there is no legal duty on the part of the Philippine government to cooperate. Yun lamang po ang sinasabi namin.
okay. Maliwanag naman yun, Mr. Chairman, na ang sinasabi ni Solicitor General, pwedeng mag-imbestiga ang ICC, conduct the preliminary investigation dito. Makalagay ko, dito naman ang mga ebidensya, dito yung mga testigo. Pero ang gobyerno ay hindi mag-cooperate sapagkat wala silang legal duty. Kahit na admitted naman na doon sa Article 127, may legal duty ang Pilipinas to cooperate in the investigation. Ngayon, ang sabi ng Solicitor General, Mr. Chairman, ay meron pang question sa admissibility or yung complementarity.
Jurisdiction and admissibility po.
Okay. Yung sa complementarity, wala nang problema ba yun?
Hindi po. Until now, we maintain our position kasi na ang may primary responsibility ay ang ating mga national institutions pa rin.
Okay. Pero doon sa complementarity, hindi naman tinutukoy yung the whole gamut of the judicial system in the Philippines that it is working or it is not working. Ang tinutukoy lamang ay tungkol dun sa kaso before the ICC. Kung yung bang respondents ay being prosecuted or being tried in Philippine courts. That should be the context of complementarity. Si former President Duterte ba at sila, yung mga kanyang major correspondents ay meron ng prosecutor na Pilipino, prosecutorial office na may nakapending na reklamo laban sa kanila na iniusig.
As far as the former president is concerned, Your Honor, wala pa po dahil wala pong nagpa-file ng complaint against him. Nung time na siya ay presidente, that's understandable dahil siya po ay may immunity from suit. Pero ngayon po na hindi na siya presidente, wala namang nagpa-file ng complaint sa kanya.
Yung gobyerno ba mismo, yung prosecutor mismo ay hindi pwedeng mag-file on their own sapagkat merong krimen na naganap sa Pilipinas under our laws and our international law?
Ang ating usual procedure po ay merong complainant, halimbawa yung biktima, kung sila po ay nag-allege na ang presidente ang siyang pasimuno ng lahat ng ito, ay sila po ang dapat na mag-file ng kaukulang complaint.
Motu proprio ang gobyerno hindi pwedeng mag-file? Pinagbabawal ba yan?
Kasi po hindi po yun ang ating normal na proseso na mag-iimbestiga, magko-conduct ng preliminary investigation ang ating prosecutor nang wala namang nakahain na reklamo sa kanyang opisina. Ano po ang kanyang iimbestigahan kung wala naman pong nakahain na reklamo?
Okay. Yung bang ibang mga respondents maliban sa former president wala rin kaso sa prosecution sa prosecutor's office?
Depende po sino po bang mga
Hindi
tao
ko,
ang
si Senator Bato ba meron?
Wala po.
Wala.
Wala naman pong nag-file ng any complaint against him.
Okay. Meron ba naman na nakapending na kaso sa husgado sa Pilipinas laban kay former President Duterte at mga kanyang correspondents hinggil dun sa crimes against humanity tungkol sa deadly war on drugs?
Let me just clarify this, Your Honor, kasi yung iniimbestigahan po ng ICC ay ang Philippine situation in general. Wala naman pong any specific persons na tinutukoy ang ICC prosecutor sa panahon na ngayon. Ano po? Kaya nga po siya magko-conduct ng investigation with the end in view of specifically identifying certain individuals at a later time. Pero wala pa po tayo doon eh. Wala naman hong ina-identify ang ICC prosecutor na specific persons na siyang papaharapin sa ICC trial chamber kung kinakailangan. Sa ngayon po, wala pa po tayo doon sa stage na yon. It's the Philippine situation being looked into by the prosecutor. Kaya po, hindi po parang wala pong parallelism na tanungin kung meron na po bang domestic complaint against Senator Bato or meron na po bang local case against the President. Kasi even the ICC po, wala naman po silang ina-identify pa na certain persons na kanilang lilitisin sa trial chamber.
Doon ba sa mga complaints, gusto mo sabihin ng complaints, hindi kaso, complaints na pinail sa ICC, meron bang mga tinutukoy na respondents?
Actually, hindi po namin nakita at all yung mga complaints na yon na inihain sa ICC prosecutor. We were just informed na merong investigation or examination na gagawin ang ICC prosecutor. But we never saw yung complaints na yon. Nalaman na lamang po namin sa mga media reports na ang subject matter noong mga complaints na yon
Hmm.
ay mga certain individuals like the former president, I think certain PNP officials, Senator Bato de la Rosa. Yun po ay nag-gather na lamang namin from media reports. Pero hindi po yun as in binigyan ng kopya ng reklamo ang Philippine government para po makapag-comment naman kahit papano ang Philippine government. Hindi po nabigyan ng ganong klaseng opportunity
Hmm.
ang Philippine government nung time na nag-gather po ng facts.